Shalom everybody, it's me Amir, welcome back to GoOn Berlin, and today in this video I would like to talk with you about the 7 things that I hate about Berlin. Berlin is the city I choose to live in and I would never replace it in any other city in the world. I really love the city, but there are really things that I can't stand here. So bear with me a little bit, maybe you'll find it also a little bit entertaining. And let's start with number 1. The thing that really buggers me about Berlin a lot of the time is the food here. In general, you can say there are only 2 street foods in Berlin, Currywurst and Döner Kebab. Currywurst is the German street food and Döner Kebab is the Turkish street food. Even though I made a video about a recipe for Currywurst, I really try to make it something delicious. But I personally don't like it and I really think this city needs some good street food. And the meat quality here in Berlin is also not very good, especially the beef. All in all, I think German people are not very open-minded about new flavors and new experience regarding food. And of course you can find good restaurants, but not a lot of them. The second thing that I hate about the city is the sirens. Oh my god, guys, the sirens here are so loud. Every time the police start the sirens, or the ambulance, or the fire. Every time you go out on the street, the ambulance or the police start the siren, I put my hands on my ears like that because I really feel pain in my ear. I think the damage they make is much more severe than what you're trying to save, to be honest. Well, yeah, I don't know, maybe someone is dying and they really need that. But really, this is way too much. Another thing that I really hate about the city is customer service. Maybe you heard about it before, this is completely true. The customer service in this city is terrible. A lot of time when you go to restaurants, for example, the waiters don't know anything about the menu. If you start to ask questions, they will get angry at you. In Berlin specifically, the customer is always wrong. This is the motto. Yeah, the customer is never right. Yeah, I remember one time I went to a camera gear shop and I wanted to buy a filter and I started asking questions like what kind of filters you have, I need this kind of diameter. And they were so angry at me that I started asking questions and being professional about this, and I wanted something very specific. At the end I bought something, yeah, and I said them goodbye, have a nice day, like most people do here, and they didn't even look at me. You know, and I was an active customer, I actually bought something, you know, I didn't only ask questions. Every time I go with my clients on a tour in Berlin and we sit for a coffee or to eat something, I always tell them, here in Berlin there is no customer service. If you have any question about the menu, you can ask me, but please don't ask the waiter because then they complain to me about it. Why? And after that they expect to get tip. You know, maybe this is why tip is not so high here in Berlin. This is also true for government services, tax services. If you need to go to the foreign offices, for example, you will feel that they really treat customers here like shit. Why? Please tell me why. The next thing that I would like to talk about is something a little bit more serious, bear with me. Another thing that I don't like about the city is the drug culture. And I'm not here to tell you not to take drugs or something like that. I'm not your mother and not your teacher. But here in this city, drug culture is something that is very mainstream. Every time when you go to a party or to a club, you can see a lot of people are taking drugs. I personally am not a drug user, and this is something that bothers me when my surrounding is pushing me maybe or telling me that I need to take these substances to have good time or to celebrate and to be part of the party. I really don't like that. And also because this phenomenon is so common in Berlin, you can see a lot of young people here are having a very bad mental health issues. A lot of people are getting psychotic and very depressed, and it's very hard to get out of it. And a lot of times the health insurance will not cover those damages. You can see a lot of drug victims not only in the parties, but also in everyday life, in the U-Bahn, in the underground, or on the street. Really, it's everywhere in Berlin. You can't escape it. This is part of the city maybe, but this is something that is very hard to watch and very hard to be part of. At number 5, I would like to talk with you about technology. The lack of technology, actually. I don't know if it's serious or a joke, but it feels sometimes in Berlin that the technological level here is 10 steps back in the past. This affects everybody on everyday life. In a lot of central places in Berlin there is no Wi-Fi, and I'm talking about Alexanderplatz, Kudamm, city center. Forget about Wi-Fi. Also in bureaucracy, when you go to the offices and you need to do something official, it takes much more time than it needs. The government website or the official website are really outdated and they don't refresh them, and a lot of times you stumble into a wall because of that. Yeah, but I can tell you another funny story. I once went to a doctor, and after that the health insurance want me to contact him again because I need to send a paper to him. Anyway, I went to his website and there was an email address there, so I tried to send him an email. They didn't reply, so I gave them a phone call, and then they told me, email, you know what? We don't use email anymore, but you can send us a fax. At number 6, we have cigarettes. I'm not a smoker, maybe you are a smoker, so maybe that's a good thing for you, but for me this is really annoying, and it's something that I really hate. In a lot of bars here in the city, people smoke inside, and the ventilation is really bad because, you know, we talked about technology already. I remember one time I went with a good friend of mine that came to visit me from Israel. She heard about this very hip bar that is very popular now in Berlin, so we went to check that out, and I just opened the door and this wave of smoke came to my face and I almost puke out. Was so bad, like the worst smoke smell you can ever imagine. And I told her, oh my god, I know you're a smoker, you can go inside and have a good time, but I know that if I will go in, I will feel so bad, I will feel sick. Yeah, I feel excluded because I'm not a smoker. Do you understand that? I feel excluded in Berlin from going to bars and to other places because I'm not a smoker. Why? At number 7, this is something that a lot of people are talking about recently because of global warming and the summers in Berlin are getting hotter and hotter. There are no air conditioners in the city, not even in this apartment and not in any other apartment that I know of. Air conditioners in Berlin are banned for some reason. In a lot of gyms they don't have air conditioners, a lot of offices. Last year the summer was really hot. There was like a month or so of 30 something degrees Celsius, and to live like that without air conditioners in the trains, in the houses, in the offices or gyms, this is really bad. A lot of people are talking about how shitty the weather here in winter and it's so cold and depressing. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit depressing because all the trees are naked and so on, but to be honest, the winter here is quite okay if you know how to dress up and you can warm your house. But in summer, when it gets really hot and you just need to suffer the heat, that's the really bad weather of Berlin in my opinion. I know a lot of people are saying, just go to the lake, have a good time, but honestly, in the middle of the week, in working days, I don't want to go to the lake, you know. In winter here people are going to the sauna, that's really nice actually, I also love it. But in summer it's like living in a sauna all the time and you can't escape it. What I like about saunas is that you go inside, you get really hot, and then you go outside to the cold and you get a little bit both cold and hot. But here in summer, no, it's only sauna, especially when you go to the trains. But the only question remaining is, what did I forget? What's the thing that you hate about Berlin? Please write in the comments below, I would love to hear about it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, it doesn't cost any money. And please also consider subscribing to my channel. I upload videos on a regular basis, and I will see you in spring. Bye bye. Number 1, so bear with me a little bit.